time to drop.
Welcome back to the Hennisphere, everyone. I am in Kansas City, Missouri at Worlds of Fun today. Surprise. This was a completely spontaneous trip for me. I'm off from work for 3 days, so I said, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna make a road trip out of it. I will be at Worlds of Fun today, Six Flags St. Louis today. Tomorrow will be Silver Dollar City, and then there's a couple of surprises on the way back to Texas. But behind me you can see Patriot and Mamba. And then I'm also gonna do Prowler here. Not sure if I'll be here for 2 or 3 or 4 hours, but not very long because I will be on the road to St. Louis right after this. And then on the way to Branson after that. I can't wait, we made it. If you wanna see how bad the trip was, I'll show you some footage now. On my way to Austin right now, made a pit stop at Buc-ee's. I mean, you just have to. Got the beaver here. Everyone kinda knew me for that in college, so every Buc-ee's I see, I gotta stop. It's an 11-hour drive. This is gonna be rough because I always work from 5 a.m. to 1:30. It's about 4 p.m. right now. I am tired. 10 and a half hours to go. Well, unlike the usual saying goes, I think we are in Kansas right now. I don't even know what city we're in, but we're in Kansas. So we're getting close to this place. I still have 3 hours to go and it's about 1:30 in the morning. We'll get there. Well, I'm here. I made it. That was the craziest drive I think I've ever had by myself. Well over 12 hours. It's 5:10 in the morning. Crazy. You can actually see right there. You can see lights on Mamba. So I am right across from Worlds of Fun. I could not have picked a better hotel. So tomorrow, I don't know what time I'm getting up, but I got to check out probably at 10. So I need to get some sleep. And then it's Worlds of Fun tomorrow. I am in the park now. And first thing you see after walking in is this little advertisement for Grand Carnival. It's coming pretty soon, next weekend. If you've seen Coaster Studios channel, Taylor's already documented this little event at King's Dominion. And it looks pretty cool with different characters or actors from all over the world. Just got my fast lane for rewriting all the coasters here. Here's the park map if you're curious. Pretty big. We are right here. First, I think I'll try to do Spinning Dragons, and then the Patriot, probably Boomerang, and then I'll save the stuff in the back for last. Timberwolf way up there, and oh, I forgot, Prowler's all the way down here. Gotta save Prowler and Mamba for last. First impressions of the park, it's very pretty here. They have a lot of trees, a lot of plants. The theming is very good so far. This is the China section. Kind of reminds me of Runaway Rickshaw at Astro. And then you have Spinning Dragons there, Panda Express, Pagoda Soda, Bamboozler. This is all great theming. Even the benches. Those benches look awesome.
Once again, please limit your smoking to our designated smoking areas located throughout the park. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your journey around World.
Hey, we got old school rides here. I don't even know what that one's called, but I know this centripetal force holds you to the side. I don't know if there's any restraints on it at all, but it's super fun. And then over here, the Ferris wheel. Old school carnival style Ferris wheel. It's nice to see a change. It's not just the same rides that you see at all of the other parks. Just got done with my first coaster, Spinning Dragons, and it's just like pandemonium at Six Flags Over Texas or Six Flags Fiesta Texas. Nothing new, but this one was landscaped way better than either of those two. Lots of plants, trees. I like what they did with the roundabout section towards the end of the ride. They had what looked like a fountain. There wasn't much water in it. And I like how the queue line wraps around the outside of it like that. Check out that sign. Now it's time for Patriot, their big B&M invert. So anxious to ride this because I've rode Banshee, I've rode 3 Batman clones, should be riding another one today, another Batman clone, and I want to see where this one falls. It's not as tall, fast, or long as Banshee, but statistically, everything about it is better than a Batman clone.
Sit up straight with your head against the headrest and hold onto the grab bars at all times. Secure all loose and valuable articles, as Worlds of Fun is not responsible for their loss or damage. At this time,
Just did Patriot in the back row. Really enjoyed it. It was not very rough at all. It had some unique elements that I haven't felt on a B&M invert before. Some bunny hills, some cool inclined helixes, stuff like that. So very solid, easily better than Batman clones. So that's probably the second best invert I've ever been on. Decided to take a break real quick and have lunch. They have a Subway and a Panda Express in the park. Haven't gotten to the other half of the park, but I like their food options here. Unfortunately, the meal plan or meal deals only work on 6-inch subs and not a BLT, which is what I got. So I had to pay full price for it, but that's all right. I'll go get something else to satisfy that meal credit. There's two things I've noticed about this park within an hour of being here. One, there are water features everywhere. Like when I was walking just to Patriot, I noticed a river under the log flume, a fountain in the Oriental section or Chinese section, and then on Spinning Dragons there's a water feature in the middle of the roundabout area, even though there really wasn't anything in it except a bunch of rocks. But then over in front of Patriot there's another water feature, a little waterfall into a pond where I guess they call it Ripcord, the sky coaster is. It's over water. And then there's another fountain behind me in front of the Subway. It's weird. It's really nice looking, lots of water features. And then the other thing is there are so many places to sit, and there are so many places to sit in the shade. Like right now, I'm over by the barbecue place, and they have tons of seating outside. And then further down in front of Subway, they have a bunch of little Coca-Cola canopy coverings over tables. It's awesome. This park is really nice. It has that small home park feel, but the rides here are better than your average parks. Here's our first bummer moment of the day. Timberwolf is closed. No idea if it's going to reopen. There is not a member here to explain what's wrong with it. I don't know, maybe they're just inspecting it. I might not be getting this credit today. Well, that was pretty funny. That's my first time ever seeing a... Anyway, I don't know what Cyclone Sam's cloud poofer is. I might have to go in there and check it out. What's in the shed? Totally just drew a blank there. The caterpillar one's called a wacky worm. I don't know how I forgot about that. I don't think Mamba is operating today. When I pulled in to the park this morning, I could see one of the trains was on like C block right before it was going into the station, just stuck. I don't see the lift moving. It looks like it's been closed for about 4 hours now. Not a good sign. Just spoke to an employee about Mamba. He said that it should be opening today. They're trying, but no guarantee. So I'll wait about an hour and 15 more minutes before I leave. I can ride some more rides in the meantime, but I really hope they get that one running, because that is the coaster that I was looking forward to most on this trip, because I wanted to compare it to Steel Eel at SeaWorld San Antonio, a ride that I'm very familiar with. Get well soon, Mamba. Pretty cool looking river rapids ride. They have really nice theming. They even have a tunnel. Looks like it's Egyptian themed. Just got off Boomerang. It was for the credit, but it was actually really fun. I'm okay with a lot of Boomerangs. Some of them I really don't like, but that one was okay. They have Dinosaurs Alive, the entrance right behind me. Some of the dinosaurs are actually pretty cool. They have good animatronics, and this section is dinosaur themed. This whole area of the park, they're playing tribal music. Now I'm walking more into like an African themed section, so I believe Prowler is over here. That'll be my next coaster. And one more thing, this is gonna sound really random, but the bathrooms are actually air conditioned here. Good job, Cedar Fair. There we go, guys. Coaster, I was looking second most forward to riding at this park. Awesome wooden coaster from what I hear. Cannot wait.
Don't look back, because the bit like that is on the attack. Go your right. The turn right. While riding secure those available items that goes back, and not become responsible for the loss of damage to the gate. Little back.
Just did Prowler for the first time in the front seat, and I was surprised at how rough it was. I thought that it would compete for Mystic Timbers and Ravine Flyer 2 for my favorite wood coaster of all time, but no. I don't know where it falls. It was a lot rougher than I was expecting, and the people behind me on the train said the same thing. And maybe it's just old age, or that ride is rough. It beats you up. Next, I'm gonna go on it in the back row. Good news, everyone. Mamba is testing. No one is on the ride currently. I don't know how many test runs they've done so far, but this should be opening real soon. Gonna get a back row ride on Prowler first and then come back over here. Did my second ride on Prowler, this time in the back. It was better on the first drop, but overall that coaster maintains so much speed. You'll get a great ride probably no matter where you sit. I sat in the very front and the very back, and they felt very similar. So very rough ride, lots of laterals. The back features a little more like shakiness on the turns, like up and down, not side to side. Up and down, it kind of rattles you. Onto Mamba, hopefully it's still testing. Again with the water features, see a fountain over there. It's nice to see a pirate ship over water. Unfortunately, there's some more bad news about Mamba. I was standing in line while they were testing it. It looked like they did like 5 test runs on each train. Line of about 70 people gathered, waiting for them to open it. And the person in front of the queue line said it got stuck again, and we all dispersed. So it looks like I will not be riding Mamba today. What a bummer. When I was going to the park this morning, I noticed I saw a train stopped on the mid-course brake run on Mamba. I think that's where the problem lies, is there's still ride mechanics up there working on it. Looks like I'm not going to get the credit today. But we do have good news. Timberwolf is now open. Just had a back row ride on Timberwolf. I'm so happy it opened, because I would have been really bummed out if Mamba and Timberwolf were not operating today. The back row was good. The first half of the ride felt smoother than Prowler, but the second half did not. That was fairly rough. It felt a lot like the Beast. Overall, that's one of the rougher wooden coasters I've been on, but it was not as rough as Prowler. It's close, because the first half I really enjoyed it. Second half really beat me up. So that is going to do it from Worlds of Fun. I was here for about 3.5 hours. Got to do everything I wanted except for Mamba. I didn't want to ride the Wacky Worm, just not really into it. Even though it's for a credit, still not into it. There's a lot of good stuff about this park. It kind of feels like Great Escape in New York. I've been to that park once. This kind of feels the same. The way the paths kind of wind up and down. You have the big coaster on the end, like where Prowler is. There they have the Comet, but here the star attraction is Mamba, and I didn't get to ride it, so I feel like I didn't get a good feel for this park because that coaster wasn't open. It just kind of feels like a really big step down from Kings Island. So this was my 4th Cedar Fair park after Cedar Point and Kings Island and Knott's Berry Farm. And I don't remember going to Knott's Berry Farm, I was so young. This has a lot of the characteristics of Kings Island. The pathways are clean, the trash cans and railings and stuff feel exactly the same. What would I change about this park? The Fast Lane Plus queues are a little hard to find. Like Timberwolf, you have to go all the way around the side to the exit and then keep going back. On Spinning Dragons, it's not marked at all. You have to just walk up the exit and then it's there. Patriot, I totally missed it. I didn't see it. I walked to the entrance. Fast lane plus queue was before you get to the entrance. I had to ask someone like, well, where's the fast lane? And they said, oh, I think it's right next to us, but I totally missed it. The other thing I would change is after Prowler hits the brakes, it comes to a stop halfway into the maintenance zone, or halfway in, halfway out. So if you're on the front half of the train, you're just gonna be baking in the sun for 2 minutes if they're running more than one train ops, while the train and station loads and then dispatches. Those are the 2 things I would change. It's time to head over to the next park. That'll be on another video. That was another day in the Hennisphere.